But one thing I've learned in my life, and y'all listen to crazy Reverend Howard right here, there's only so much that you can understand about somebody when you don't have their lived experience. Let me say that again for the people in the back. There's only so much you can understand about somebody when you don't have their lived experience. In other words, if you haven't been through what they've been through, it is difficult for you to understand their point of view. For example, if you've never been divorced, you can't possibly understand what life is like for somebody who is divorced. If you've never been abused, then you can't possibly understand what life is like for victims of abuse. If you're like me and you were raised as an only child, there are experiences that we only children have that those who were raised with siblings will never understand. The point is that our lived experiences or lack thereof place a limit on our level of understanding. It's easy to tell somebody to get over something when you don't have their lived experience. If you've never dealt with what they've dealt with, if you've never felt what they felt, if you've never had to endure what they've endured, it's easy to tell somebody, get over it. It's easy to tell somebody that ain't no big deal. It's easy to tell somebody, why are you so upset? But let me tell you, if you ain't been through what they've been through, if you haven't felt the pain that they've felt, if you don't have the struggle that they have, then take Pastor's advice from last week. Don't pass up an opportunity to shut up. It's easy to dismiss somebody else's struggle. And family, the last thing that somebody who's going through needs is for somebody to dismiss their struggle. If you don't understand it or you can't relate to it, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that the struggle is not real. And family, let me also say that young people struggle too. Let me say that as the youth pastor here. Young people struggle too. Because one thing I heard growing up all the time, you're just a kid. You ain't been through nothing. You're just a kid. Wait till you get grown. You're just a kid. Ain't nothing really wrong in your life. You got it made. Well, let me just tell y'all something. That might have been your experience, but you don't know what some of our young people have had to deal with. You don't know what environment some of our young people are living in. You don't know the type of abuse, the type of neglect, the type of manipulation, the type of disgusting treatment that some of our young people have to deal with every single day. So before you put your mouth on something you know nothing about, think first and maybe keep your mouth shut, because young people are dealing with all kinds of mess. Ask me how I know. And I want any young people listening to me now, listen to me very closely. Jesus understands you. Even if the adults around you dismiss your struggle, even if the people around you ignore how you feel, Jesus understands everything about you. Not only that, but Jesus will never dismiss your struggle. Jesus will never belittle your struggle. Jesus will never make light of your struggle, but he hears every cry that you make. Just like he hears the adults in their struggle, he also hears you and your struggle. Your struggle matters to God too. And no matter who has dismissed your struggle, know that Jesus understands.